just like that, we are back to back. Back to back. Look at that, didn't even mean to do that. But anyway, neutral grip pull down. So it is Friday, midday. It's about 1 o'clock. Gonna get after it with some back and hopefully lift some big weight. So let's get after it. I literally have 2 different types of strap. And I don't know how that happened. I probably lost one along the way, but whatever. Almost feels weird to use ones that match now. So. So I think if you're feeling like not the strongest before your top set, or top sets, whatever you do, you gotta just stay optimistic, man, because you never really know what's gonna happen. It's like right now, I'm not fully sure how there's a possibility I'm gonna get 15, but I'm just gonna tell myself that I'm gonna try and get it. Or at least 14. I think 14 full reps would probably be a win. But just power through and stay confident, man. Confidence will take you far. So just gonna get after it and see what happens here. Oh, yes. I don't know how many I got, but damn, that felt good, man. So I'm doing them a little bit differently. I'm not like going all the way up with my arm. I'm coming to like right here, and then I'm just extending my shoulder, and then I'm dropping it back down. So whether I go to here or there, it doesn't really matter because my arm is already extended. So I'm just kind of trying it out, see how it feels. Done on this one. If you don't like the neutral grip, a supinated grip will probably do. You know what, the supinated might be even better, but I don't really know. Because I guess scientifically it would be a better grip since it keeps the elbow super tight, like for lats, but I don't know, it feels weird on my wrist, so. Just the difference in lighting can make you look like small and fat or huge and shredded. But when you get really good lighting, I mean, that's actually how you look. You just, every other time, you just had shit lighting. So, take that for what it is. So you might say that on the pull downs, you know, if you held it for just a little bit longer, for like a second, you get more out of it. And that might be true. I used to do that, but I felt like I might have been sacrificing a little bit of weight. Like I kind of think letting the muscle just contract, and then once it's contracted, just let it go back into the stretch and make it feel like it's ripping off your goddamn scapula, you know? So, I mean, when is it too much? Is 10 seconds too long to hold? Is 1 second more beneficial than not holding it? Is 2 seconds more beneficial than 1? I mean, who really knows? I just think if you have good control over the weight and you're resisting it, you're actually using the weight to your advantage, you're not just letting the weight kind of throw you around, then I think, and you're like increasing the reps over time or putting more weight in the bar or whatever, I think that's kind of like the key, man. I wouldn't overcomplicate it too much. I used to overcomplicate it, and I would think like, oh, perfect contractions, super slow negatives. But I mean, if you just throw around some good weight, good control, I think that's the key. So I'm gonna move on to this row now. I'm not gonna do that other row. I just don't feel like doing it. I'm beyond warmed up. I mean, I'm fatigued. So, I mean, there's no reason to fatigue myself more with a weight that's not really gonna do much for a stimulus. So, at least that's what I think. So, just a couple reps on this, a couple reps with 2 plates, and then we'll attack that top set, whatever it is. And sometimes people get too caught up on when to breathe. I mean, just breathe when you feel like you need to breathe. I mean, your body's gonna tell you when you gotta breathe. If your body doesn't tell you, then, I mean, you're shit out of luck, man. So, but if we're gonna get into it, at the bottom, like as you're resisting on the way down for the negative, that's probably a good time to take a breath. Not when you're about to pull it. But right when you get to the top here, and you start lowering it, I would say that's when you can get a couple breaths. And you wanna take more breaths than you need, or, I mean, you wanna be ready by the end and not be suffocating, because then you're gonna have nothing left. So if you aren't focusing on your breathing from the beginning, then I think you might run into a problem at the end. You have no air left. So enough of that. I'm gonna hit this set. So as I'm pulling it, I'm not shrugged up for like more upper back. I'm digging down, and I'm trying to get my shoulders. If they can just separate from my body and go towards my hips, that's what would happen. So I'm digging down, I'm arching back, and I'm pushing the middle of my stomach and like the bottom of my sternum into this pad, and I'm rolling off of it. So, and I'm digging my elbows down towards my feet. So it's more like lats and lower trap. At least that's how I'm gonna use it. I mean, there's a shit ton of upper back. You're not gonna isolate it like that much, but I'm very excited for my bent over rows today. I just love like the power I get from that, you know? So, but right now I'm thinking about this one. Well, I'm thinking about both, but I'm gonna try to think about just this right now. So let's just get after it and see. Come on. Oh, oh my God. I don't think I followed my own advice for breathing. I feel like I almost died. I always feel like I'm gonna die after that. Now, it's totally normal to feel like your sternum might break when you're doing this. I say that's probably a good sign that you're fully stretching out. At the bottom, I want my shoulder blades to almost feel like they're gonna wrap around my goddamn lat and come to my chest. I mean, that's how far I'm stretching. And then I'm firing back in. I'm almost doing like a chest pump, you know? So think of this as like, if you want to like outdo your buddy on a goddamn chest pump, you know? Then you gotta be doing this. Now, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but in my head it actually made sense. So you might say, or you might ask, how do I know I'm feeling this in my mid back? Or like the region that I've been kind of feeling it in. Well, if I arch my back and I pull my shoulders back, I can feel this pressure. It's like pressurization, if that's a word, right? Like right in there, my like lower trap and my lats. But I don't feel that swollenness in my upper back because I'm trying to turn off my upper back when I'm doing this. It's gonna activate, whatever. People use that word a lot. But I don't feel a huge pump in my upper back or my traps, my upper trap. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, lats are done. Mid back is fatigued. Now I'm gonna go do that bent over row on more of an upward angle for more of an upper back traps, rhomboids. Your rhomboids don't really get hit on anything besides like a shrug, or at least like more specifically your rhomboids on anything but things that kind of go upward because they pull your scapula like, so if this was my head, they're the opposite of your lower trap fibers. Lower trap pull scapula in and down, and then the rhomboids actually go the other way. So it elevates your scapula, but it also retracts it. So you got to do something that is in that plane of motion, if you know what I mean. So there's a couple exercises. I mean, you could do this with the upper handle. You could do bent over row. Hammer Strength has a nice machine where you sit in it and you row up, or just your standard shrug. One of those, if you want that like thick 3D, we'll call it, upper back. Use a little bit of momentum as you go. I usually don't say that, but I mean, I don't think the body's supposed to be super isolated with everything. So I think that's all right if you use a little bit of natural momentum, if you get what I'm saying there. So as you saw, I didn't just stay locked in position. I'm trying out a little bit of momentumous rocking. So let's just get into this heavier set now. I think it's important to know that a bodybuilding workout is not supposed to be like a Navy SEAL test. A Navy SEAL test or whatever is gonna be way harder. You're probably gonna die from it. Oh, I mean, closer to death, right? Than a correct stimulus bodybuilding workout. So it's not always, like doing a set of 50 on this would probably be much harder than whatever I'm about to do. But you gotta send the right signal to the body, the correct adaptation. So you wanna do explosive, powerful contractions. Oh, that's heavy. Maybe a little bit too heavy. At first I thought it was too heavy before I looked at the video. And then I looked at the video and it actually looked pretty good. So that goes to show that if you videotape some of your sets, it might feel like it was too heavy, but once you look at it, I mean, good stretch, good control, a good squeeze at the top, a little bit of controlled momentum. The last couple were obviously not the same as the first couple, but it was still a good, heavy, like lower back, mid back, upper back, overall destruction set. And if you're wondering what bar I was using there, It's a blue Ohio power bar that I got a couple years back before COVID. So it's just a standard 45-pound bar, but I kind of wish I got it in like a different color. You know what? I kind of just lied about that. I think I want every single color of that bar, because obviously I can't pick what color I want. I just want every single one. So I mean, what lifter wouldn't want a blue one, a red one, a green one, orange? You just pick whatever one you want to use that day. That'd be sick. But you would also have to spend like $3,000 on a bar, or $3,000 total on bars, which most probably wouldn't want to do, but that would be pretty sick to have all those bars. Actually, there's one thing I want to say on this. When you're extending backwards, you shouldn't think going back. You should actually think about, first movement is I'm driving the outside of my hand. I'm actually like wiggling my hand really close into this metal here. I want my arm to be like attached to this. And I'm thinking about actually just driving out first. And it's gonna go back, obviously, but I'm more thinking about going out first to get my rear delt to fire. You know what I mean by fire. To feel your rear delt activate. So I'm thinking about going out instead of just back, because then you're gonna get more upper back traps involvement. So at least that's what I think. That felt a little bit heavier than usual, but I still got what I needed out of it. So done with that rear delt. I'm gonna move on to I think I'm gonna do a barbell straight curl. And if you're wondering why I was standing on this plate when I was doing the bent over row, it's because I didn't want to put it on here and then have to walk out with it, and these arms don't go low enough, at least for me. So when I was coming down, it was getting pretty close to hitting, and I didn't want that being in my mind. So I just stood on this piece of metal. And for a song selection today, I got it on 2000s pop, as per usual. That's kind of my go-to, at least lately. So I'm gonna warm up with this curl here, just kind of see how it feels. So I'm kind of in the mood to do a little bit more of a, I don't know if it's a cheek curl, but a little bit more momentumous. I think I've invented a word today. Momentumous, yeah. But more of a controlled out of the bottom, and then an explosive supinated tension curl. Fuck. Oh, holy shit, that was heavy. So a couple things definitely went wrong during that set. First off, I hit the goddamn rack. Then I lost balance and I stepped forward. And then what else happened? Oh, then I felt like the plates were falling off. I don't know if they were, but it was messing with my head. So I'm gonna throw on some collars for this next set and do one more here and then probably it. Oh my God. That's it. Done. There was definitely some throwing around there. Those were definitely not strict. It's heavier than I thought, man. God damn. Might have to lighten it a little bit, but even if I do a little bit of a swing, I still feel like I get a lot of tension on my bicep. So, I think there's like a mistake that people sometimes make when it comes to like a cheat curl, is at the bottom, once they go to curl, they're not like in their bicep already. At the bottom, you kind of want to like, it's almost like a hip thrust, but your biceps are already super tight, and then it's right into the curl. It's not like a kick and then curl. It's like a 1-to-1, like a domino. Like a domino, boom, boom, and then tension gets into bicep. At least that's kind of how I'm thinking of it as I'm going through, so.